What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Xenny, and I'm back with another video, man. If you're new to my channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like the video. I really appreciate it. Today we got Jaden Smith breaks down and reveals how Diddy and Will Smith did freak offs on him. So without further ado, let's get straight to this video, man. King!
Oh, it looks like Will Smith and Diddy's weird relationship went deeper than anybody could have suspected, because Will's son, Jaden Smith, just came out to make some shocking claims about how Will allegedly let Diddy hurt Jaden, if you know what I mean. There have long been rumors of Diddy and Will having a little something going on for years, and they have been alleged to have been having an affair right under our noses. Will and Jaden have always had a very complicated relationship, and according to new reports, this is only one of the reasons. Well, it looks like Jaden is tired of keeping this secret because he just came out to spill, and he had a lot of shocking things to say. So, y'all know how Will and Jada Smith have always flexed about being the best Hollywood parents, right? Well, it seems like they might have been stretching that a bit. Sure, Jaden and Willow turned out pretty solid, but according to Jaden, that wasn't really because of Will and Jada. Not only that, but Jaden apparently feels like Will and Jada weren't just bad parents, but they were actually hurtful too. And here's where it gets really wild. Jaden is out here claiming that Will allegedly sold him to Diddy, with Jada fully aware of it. Allegedly, that's why Jaden was so over them and wanted to be emancipated at just 15. We really need to have a conversation about Will and Jada's parenting and how they nearly messed up their kids' lives. This is something that can't be ignored any longer. For starters, Will and Jada have been preaching one thing to the world for years. But let's be real, they haven't exactly been practicing what they preach. They've always claimed that they don't believe in punishment and prefer to let Jaden and Willow do their own thing, as long as it wouldn't come back to haunt them later. But it's starting to look like things didn't play out that way. In a 2013 interview, Will famously said, "We don't do punishment. The way that we deal with our kids is, they are responsible for their lives. Our concept is, as young as possible, give them as much control over their lives as possible. So when they do things, you can do anything you want as long as you can explain to me why that was the right thing to do for your life." Back then, that whole no punishment statement caused a lot of buzz. Willow was just 13 and Jaden was 15. And let's be real, teenagers aren't exactly known for making the best decisions. A lot of people thought Will and Jada were just kind of winging it, giving their kids way too much freedom at such a young age. And we all know, most of the time, that kind of parenting doesn't end well. But here's the kicker. Will might have been stretching the truth about their no discipline vibe. Willow spilled the tea herself, saying she actually got into trouble a lot as a kid, and it gets juicier. She claimed there was a serious double standard between her and Jaden. Apparently she faced tougher consequences, and it was all because she was a girl. She dropped these bombshells on none other than Jada's own Red Table Talk, and it was a lot.
The difference between how black moms will treat their daughters and their sons.
Oh, for
Oh,
sure.
my goodness.
Uh-oh.
Getting up at the right time. It would be like, you better get up. To me, it'd be like, oh, no, school's about to be, you better get dressed, we need to get the, and it would be like, I'd be in my room like, okay, I gotta get it. But then Jaden was there, she's like,
Now see, and Jaden would say the
are you
different.
ready to... And he'd be like, maybe one moment.
It definitely adds a whole new layer to the story. Jada's been loud and proud about her feminist beliefs, always pushing for gender equality and empowerment. But behind the scenes, it seems like a different story was playing out, with Jaden getting the royal treatment simply because he was a boy. And with these new claims about Will and Jada allegedly Jaden out to Diddy, it makes you wonder if there was more to Jaden's preferential treatment than we ever realized. If Willow really was getting punished, it raises the question, did Will and Jada straight up lie about their parenting style? It sure seems like it. If they were truly about letting their kids have the same freedom, Willow wouldn't have had to worry about facing the consequences while Jaden got off scot-free. And honestly, there was clearly a lot more happening behind closed doors than we knew. Jaden wasn't wrong when he said Will and Jada weren't exactly the loving parents they've portrayed. Take Willow's Whip My Hair era, for example. She dropped that song in 2010 when she was only 9, and while other kids her age were dreaming of being famous, Willow was living that dream. But it came with a price, and we didn't see what was really going on with her at such a young age. But it turns out that Willow didn't want to do the song, and she was forced into it by her father, Will. She felt like she was still too young and didn't want to deal with the struggle and pressure of being a singer when she wasn't even out of elementary school yet. She explained this to her father, and he pretty much told her to get over herself and hit the studios.
Definitely had to forgive you and Daddy, you know, for that whole with my hair thing. It was mostly Daddy, because he was so, like, harsh at certain times.
Yeah.
Like, trying to regain trust for not feeling like I wasn't listened to or no one cared what I felt during that time.
Willow definitely had dreams of a singing career from a young age, but she wanted to take things at her own pace. Unfortunately, it seems like Will was more focused on having a child star for a daughter, pushing his own ambitions onto her, even though Willow's slower approach made perfect sense. This just adds to the hypocrisy. I mean, forcing a 9-year-old into the music industry doesn't exactly align with the whole letting them do their own thing philosophy they've always preached. And the aftermath says it all. After dropping Whip My Hair, Willow struggled with her mental health. In recent years, she's been open about going through an identity crisis, all because of the sudden fame that was thrown at her so young. It's clear that the pressure really took its toll.
I was kind of like just in this gray area of like, who am I? Like, is there, like, do I have a purpose? Like, is there anything like that I can do besides this?
Things took a much darker turn when Will tightened his grip on Willow's career, ignoring her obvious reluctance and forcing her to go on tour with Justin Bieber for a month. It's like he wasn't even hearing her. Feeling cornered and trapped, Willow made a powerful statement by shaving her head as an act of rebellion against her father's control. Imagine the kind of distress a child has to be in to take such drastic action. It's heartbreaking to think that Will's focus on fame and money completely overshadowed any real concern for Willow's mental health. He, of all people, should have known better, having grown up in the spotlight himself and understanding the toll it can take on a child. In later interviews, Willow courageously opened up about how the pressure of fame, combined with a lack of support at home, deeply affected her mental health. Things spiraled into depression, and she turned to self-harm as a way to cope. It's such a painful reality, especially for someone so young, to have to endure that kind of emotional turmoil. Thankfully, after years of therapy, Willow was able to overcome her depression and learn how to manage fame without sacrificing her mental well-being. She even decided to drop her last name, now going by just Willow, because she associates Smith with the pain and trauma of her early years. But Willow wasn't the only one who felt the pressure of parental control in the Smith household. Jaden had his own struggles too. His big break came with The Karate Kid in 2010, but just like Willow, he wasn't ready to dive headfirst into Hollywood at such a young age. And honestly, who could blame him? He was only 11. Despite his hesitations, Will and Jada pushed him into the limelight. Eventually, Jaden found his rhythm on set and started to enjoy the attention that came with the movie's success. But it wasn't exactly on his terms either. Even though Jaden ended up enjoying the spotlight, that doesn't mean he forgave his parents for bulldozing over his wishes. In fact, reports suggest that Jaden felt deeply betrayed and lost trust in Will and Jada, feeling like they weren't really looking out for him. That resentment grew to the point where, at just 15, he asked to be emancipated from them. At the time, inside